What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? No audio? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I forget to hit buttons. But good morning to Al. We got Albert. Good morning to Bill, Sydney, Corey, Jeff. Good morning to Joe, Kevin, Lauren, Mark. We got Miguel in the house. Good morning to Micus, Randy, Tim. All my peeps out in YouTube land. Good morning to all you guys as well. We got Richard Jet, Santilla, la la la. Good morning to you. All my lurkers in the background. I still love you. Just hit that like and subscribe button. Uh, if you don't mind, and if you like to share, that's fun too. That's fun too. Al's in the house. Good morning, man. All right, we got Spy. So Spy kind of just hanging out, nothing too crazy. Pretty much. I mean, technically a gap up, 2 pennies if anybody wants to count that. More importantly for yesterday, uh, because it was a bullish day, but there's a lot more that actually happened. So number one, we got through CPI. So CPI came in with kind of hot. Market just shook that off. Very important about yesterday is we've also come back down. We retested all of the VPOCs in the one candle from yesterday. And even more important than that is we've also ended the day higher on the VPOC. So as much as we feel like, hey, you know what, this could start getting overextended. I mean, I don't know if getting started in the overextended direction is the key word, because I think we're probably up there, but I don't see any sign of reversal yet. And I was asked an interesting question in the chat yesterday. I don't know if you're here. Maybe it was Miguel. I'm not sure, but he was like, "How do you know when the market is actually kind of reversing and we're either pulling back or have either a pullback or kind of the real deal, and we start to get that recession talk and all this stuff?" Sometimes, unfortunately, you just don't know until you're in it, right? Because pullbacks that just continue to sell is you're like, oh, this is just a pullback. Don't worry about it. Uh, it tends to turn into, uh-oh, how did I not see that coming? That's the most obvious candles ever. But truthfully, right now we are still moving up higher. It is much easier to stick to the direction that we're in. The trend is your friend to the bend in the end, right? So that, like, anybody that attempted shorts, you could have made money on this one day. You could have made money on this day. You could have made money here. You could have made money here. But the easiest trend was just bullish the entire time. So that's still our direction. We are still pushing higher. We survived also the 10-year bond auction. I believe we have the 30-year today. TLT is down a little bit. So we'll see how that 30-year wants to play into the market. But right now we are just pretty much starting a day where we finished yesterday. So nothing too crazy. I'd be looking at maybe 516 as that little level of support. We'll see if we can hold it. If not, the next level up higher or lower would be 514.94. But I would look for maybe some kind of, we're still inside day. See if we get a little pullback. It opened and says 516. And again, a little extended would take us to 515.03. Anything past that starts to worry me a little bit. But I'm not sure that unless we get some kind of catalyst or some kind of news or something like that, I think that 515 should be a rather strong support. I'm not even positive we get there. I'm really looking for that 516 for some kind of a bounce and try to stay bullish for today. We do have that one little wick on the SPY we got to get through, and then there you go, back at all-time highs. Congratulations, SPY. Q's a little bit of a different story. Just a little. We have the good news, same as the SPY. We came back down. We've already now retested one, a moving average, but two, that VPOC right in there. So that looks good. We also did end the day with the VPOC slightly higher from this little support down here. So that looks fantastic. The one difference on the Qs compared to the SPY right now is we actually have a decent resistance built into this one. We have this double top built in. I would say same thing. We are gapping down a little bit today, still into yesterday's VPOC. So we haven't broke that down yet. So we are opening at support. That looks good. And I think I saw NVIDIA kind of dropping a little bit pre-market too. So I'm sure that's going to put some weight onto the Qs. But Look for 442.29, see if that could hold. The high end of things, we're looking for 445.86. And then if the Qs wants to do something like the SPY and be in contention for the all-time highs again, we got to get a break of that 446.86, especially a close. And then we'll see where today's VPOC ends. But just a little bit more choppy on Qs than it is on the SPY. SPY is trending a little bit better. But obviously, it's the Qs. It's tech. It's driving the market. Even though we're chopping here, we're pretty far ahead of what the SPY's been doing. So we will check that out. TLT. Santilla says, when to load on Tesla. What's the bottom? What to watch for? Yeah, that's the second request. Yeah. Michael wants to take a look at Tesla too, so we will take a look at that one. I believe they had a downgrade, but then also a reiteration of an upgrade. So we'll get to that one. That's gonna be a fun one. TLT. A little bit of a gap down again. 30-year bond auction today. That can move the market. I believe that's probably 1 o'clock Eastern. But this is a nice little gap down into some support here. I got my bigger support coming in at 94.05. So that's the zone that I really want to hold. I think eventually these rates, I don't think they stay. I think they will probably stay about the same for a decent amount of time. So I don't think it's a rush play, but I think some point we do start to reverse on some of these rates. They start coming down a little bit, and probably not a horrific place to. I would probably take it with shares as opposed to options. Although if you feel a little bit different than I do, where I think these rates do continue out for a little bit longer, you could probably play the options. And then if I'm wrong, those things are going to move quick, and you could get a pretty nice payday on some of those options. Otherwise, I'd probably start tiptoeing in with shares if you guys do want some TLT as kind of the reverse interest rate kind of play. But we're still there. An interesting little inverted head and shoulders. We are kind of just pushing into this little downtrend. So I don't think a horrible spot to start adding some TLT. If you do think the rate cut is good, it's going to come eventually. Just question is when. So if you're okay just sitting on some cash for a little bit in there, I don't think that's horrible. All right, you guys want to take a look at Tesla. So they did have a downgrade, upgrade. Santilla wants to know the bottom. I mean, if I knew that, I would just be not touching Tesla till it gets there. But very interesting candle yesterday. It was looking kind of trappy. A little bit to the looking kind of crappy side too. We got right under there. We're below every VPOC to that point, and bulls just rallied back. We had a good day trade on it. We did play this one bullish, looking at this thing going, hey, that looks like a trap. As a swing trade, I don't mind taking 179.64, trying to get in there if it could get there, and then your stop almost play that one candle. So I wouldn't mind that for a swing trade. Today, it looks like it might not even fill that, and it doesn't even look like we're going to get above it. So that downgrade came in. I think they put a 160 target on it. I've had this 163.34 for a long time. I don't want to pretend that is the bottom, the absolute bottom, but it would make sense. We have a little bit of double balance. I think I had this line on since, I don't even know, probably it's got to be a full year by now. So yeah, probably that March 2023, something like that. So if we start to lose this level, which it does look like that's getting a little bit to the weak side, I'm eyeing down this 163 zone. I think the downgrade came into the 160s, but again, could this potentially just be a higher lows? Yeah, okay. So if you're going to try to make a play, I'd have to at least wait until I don't mind giving up $6 on Tesla to see, have a stop there. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You get stopped out and try it again closer to there if it's giving us any type of consolidation around 163, 160. If we start to lose that, we've got all of this down here, unfortunately, that has not been retested. So is there a potential story that comes out, a potential move that comes out, and we just do nothing but just come in and retest this. That's low, but every single news recently has been not great. There's not a lot of momentum into EVs right now. So 163 is the next spot I'm looking for, 163.34. Otherwise, I am looking for probably back in the, I mean, maybe we could hold this 156 somewhere in that spot, another little peak. Otherwise, I'm holding back for like 120s, something like that. Keep in mind, valuation, Tesla's a story stock, right? So Tesla's a story stock. When the story is good, the story is great. People love it. They can't get enough shares. But the on the other shoe is when the story is bad, like we've had, like, yeah, 2024 is gonna be tough for EVs. You got downgrades coming in. You've got I think we just had somebody that couldn't get out and drowned in their Tesla car because the windows were not breakable or something. There's nonstop just pile on, pile on, pile on. And the story gets bad. The one thing that nobody's really talking about, or some people, I think, but valuation, right? The valuation is very high. And the question with Tesla, because it is a little bit of a complicated company, is it a tech company or is it a car company? When they start dropping off and selling some of the cyborgs and things like that, I think we push a little bit more to tech company. But right now, sales are coming from car sales. So if you're comparing it to Ford, a GM, just in terms of how you evaluate a company, this is still very, very expensive. And now you don't have the story on it. So I wouldn't be rushing to jump in yet. I think at least trying to be patient unless you get that break, and then maybe it's a swing trade. Take your gains, lock it up. If you are on the other foot, and hey, Tesla's the best company in the world, and this is just one big major pullback, well, I'd probably still wait for that break to come in, see if it happens at somewhere around the spot. If not, um, just that's fine. You're not going to get filled to the downside, but not a great, not a great open again. The one interesting thing is the Bulls did save us. So if we're talking day trades, Bulls saved us somewhere around 172.51. Again, if you want a very good risk to reward, you're probably excited to get in somewhere here at open, and you're having your stop low of the day yesterday. That's my bullish case for today. Do we get saved again and now we start pushing back, and then maybe we have a really crazy day, we do start breaking this 179? I can't tell you that. I have no idea. But on a risk to reward purpose, well, we did get bought here yesterday. We're still inside the ace candle, and throwing a stop under there, fine. I get it. Otherwise, that's definitely the spot I'd want to be out on. And if this thing's not going to go bullish today, it does look pretty bearish. If we get some kind of a bounce, first spot I'm looking for, if you do like it short, 175.88. Let's see if you get a little bit of a bounce as it is inside day, and maybe we could get to this 177.81 would be the second spot that I'm looking for. And just the same sentiment as before, probably throw your stop above yesterday, because I think if this candle starts to break, we probably go a little bit more bullish. So we will see. We will see. But I'll see if it has any kind of setups at the bell. I don't know if I have to jump into that one. And I think Wedbush came out and they reiterated their targets on it to, I think, $300. But Wedbush is Dan Ives. He's been a massive Tesla bull, so that makes sense. Tim says BA. I think they had some more news come out yesterday too. What was their news yesterday or overnight? New Zealand seizes Latam Boeing 787 black boxes after incident. Yeah, it was another faulty. It was, you can't make it up. You just can't make it up. Like, so you're telling me that Boeing goes like 3 months without stories, and then all of a sudden every day there's a story? Hmm. One thing about this one is we do I mean, we're gapping lower again. We didn't fill this gap up here, so that takes away a lot of confidence that any of these, this one, same thing. We just gap down every single day. We haven't filled any of these. I think there's going to be a point where we can start selling puts. That's probably how I'll play it. Like, if we could come down a little bit further, we could probably, like, so if we get down to like the 179s, we could probably sell like the 160s, something to that effect. Um, we're in a decent volume zone here. If we start to break, probably a little bit lower. We're not that honestly that far off. But if we start breaking, I think 180.86. Man, it's not great levels here, but 176.45. Then we have 173.95. After that would be a much bigger pull. That's 166. But we don't really have volume till down here. So we get back to the 150s. If these stories keep up and every single day it's nightmare on Elm Street for Boeing, that's going to be rough. But it does look like we've consolidated for a long time in here. We finally got the break. Like this is almost a descending triangle, which would be something like this. Big bear flag, and we broke. So this thing could get a little bit ugly. I'd probably wait until you get down there a little bit lower, see if you can get some kind of and again, I think we could break through it, but some kind of a bounce from there. So again, selling puts, you might make some money on, right? Just with time decay, just with this thing getting a dead cat bounce, and then maybe you get that rollover where you create kind of that longer term either double bottom or you break through, and now we are looking for the 150s, 160s. We'll see. We'll see. But not another again, not another great day for the team Boeing. We got BP. May give us a chance today. Let's see. Mm, yeah, these guys are rascals. These guys are rascal flats. Could be. I think my next target on this one would be 37, 31. I I'd want to see a pullback first on this one because even though it's a red candle, if you're just going candle to gap, it's gap and go. But we were in this one yesterday. We were trying to catch this break. We were trying to probably get up into the zone actually. So we'd probably be at our targets by now. But I would say this is more of a retest candle. So I think today probably looks like a little retest too. First spot, if this thing wants to just pull back and some people want to take profits, look for like 36.83. I think that could be interesting. Um, but otherwise, good gap. We'll keep it at the top of the list. It's already there. Boeing, the noise made a tire. The noise made. Yeah, I. It's not like in sometimes I would like to be there when a tire crashes to earth, but also at the very same time, I'd like to not be anywhere close to that when that happened. Microsoft with a decent gap. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any other gaps or tickers that you guys want to take a look at. Again, kind of a little light. I think we should look at Nvidia though. Let's see. Pretty nice gap for sure of Microsoft. It's going to depend on when the next 10 minutes comes in, where this thing actually opens. But right now, we are into one little level of resistance. We do have a huge retest gap. If this thing breaks higher, I'm looking for targets of about 420. So we'll see if we could get 420. So that's going to give me about $2 to the higher side on like a quick push. We do have tweezers up there too. I hate to short Microsoft on this kind of bullish momentum pop, but I think we get more of a fade. I think more than likely. So if you do want to try it, I'd say wait a little bit, see if this thing wants to come into like 415.48 would be a good spot to go long on it, or at least some kind of pullback into that zone. Otherwise, yeah, pretty nice gap. I mean, a good $3 gap on Microsoft is decent. Just worried about that one tiny little resistance that we're probably opening into. And then to the higher side, I can't make much unless I have the thought process that we're going to break through this 120 zone. But it is a big major retest gap too. So I think there's going to be some people wanting to take profits close to all-time highs. So yeah, probably actually, unfortunately, more of a fade. Doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily play it bearish, but there's some room down there. Really good gap though. What I would love to see is this thing just closes red right into 415. And then I think tomorrow we get the follow through. That would be fun. But we'll see what happens on this one. Just the risk reward. If you think that the all-time highs can break out, yeah, all day. This is a really good gap. I just don't know if that's going to be the case, especially. And let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia. Nvidia kind of pre-market has been a little wild. We're actually gapping down now. So we were up pretty decently. This is 935. So we went from pretty strong green. We kind of flipped this. That's going to weigh down the Qs. It's probably going to weigh down the SPY a little bit. But anything else, chip or AI related, probably feels a little pressure too. I don't know where the wave count is on this, right? So I'm not sure where I want to start this one. For right now, though, this is my biggest wave. So that's my wave 3. This is my wave 2. That's my wave 1. Potentially, this is 4. This is 5. We do have support. Yesterday, that's going to sit somewhere at like 904.25. We almost got to that one. I think we start to break down that last little pivot. Yeah, great volume to support us up there too. Otherwise, the next little spot I'll be looking for is about 883 today. But all VPOCs still lining up bullish. This is still just a retest. I would look for some kind of consolidation. I really don't really want to go bearish on Nvidia, so I'll probably continue to look bullish and just say this is some kind of pullback. And if that wave count is correct, a little bit of hesitation around here, and we might be able to set up some kind of long, which would take us probably targets on a day trade 929. And it's Nvidia, so it's got the ability to clearly break out, go crazier. DLTR. DLTR. I don't know. See where this one's pre-market. Ooh, Dollar Tree. The tree growing season has not been fruitful this year for DLTR. This is earnings. I really want this thing back to 100. But that's what I want. That doesn't mean that's what the market's gonna give me. Yeah, so surprise miss 12 cents, so 4.62%. Surprise miss 28 million on revenue. That's a pretty major gap. I think we got to scoot this one higher. Um, you're not really opening into support. If anything, you're below it. I'd still want some kind of a bullish bounce just to make my risk reward, and that's just me being me a little bit better. I'd want to see if we can get some kind of I don't know who's been shorting this thing. We're trapping a ton of bulls. It's not a high short float. We might get into maybe we could get into like 131. That'd be a great spot to try to play the short. Otherwise, I'd have to wait for maybe a green high wave candle and try to play this thing further down. But that's a major gap. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a $20 gap. That's huge. I'm more because I mean we're breaking that pivot too. This is looking like inverted head and shoulders. I want to be. I want to. I want to try to exercise a little patience on this one. That's what I want. The battle in my head. I'm like, this thing looks gross and probably continues down further. So that's gonna go pretty high on my list. We'll see what we can do off that. Pfizer. Don't just get one shot. Get 7. Yeah. I mean that's a good breakout candle. You got a little inside day. I wish this one had a little more volume on it, but still just following that nice little gap up, finally breaking out. Targets on this one. So we got one immediate target. That's going to be 28.39. I think that's a breakable target. We've already hit that. So then the next spot up, probably about 28.72. about 50 cents. That's a good move. And then if probably stretch target puts us at like 28.96. So Pfizer, as far as day trades goes, I mean the ranges aren't huge. So your setups are gonna feel smaller. Entry to stops. Would love to see. I mean, we're still inside, even though this is we're still actually inside of yesterday as well, but we're also inside day on Monday. So if we could get a little pullback, watch for like $28 if we could get it. I don't know how much shorting there was yesterday as opposed to profit taking. So I would say that's a little more profit taking than anything. So see if we get a little pullback, but I think that's one to watch. Just based on the fact that I mean we could get stopped somewhere around this 28.40 zone. It's possible. And if that's the case, we're buying into essentially we're buying into the resistance. But if we get a little bit of a pullback, somewhere close to $28, I can even throw a stop, maybe low of yesterday, 27.75. I think that'd be a decent spot to put that stop. You got about 25 cents of risk, so that would not be a bad setup. So we'll watch that one. Dollar Tree is closing 1,000 stores. That's because they can't even buy anything for a dollar wholesale anymore. Like that, all they're doing is swapping things. That's it. Soundhound. Good gap up on this one. Yesterday was a nice day. I think we did look at this one yesterday too, and it was just I didn't play it. I think because I played it like 2 weeks ago, and it kind of just dudded out on me. It wasn't doing anything. There's a nice little retest gap. Again, very similar to Microsoft. I mean, we're very close to those highs. The one difference from Soundhound than Microsoft is I don't see any real resistance above us. Would love to see this pull back, probably into the full-on retest, $6.97. But that's a good looking gap for sure. I'm gonna throw that one up higher on the list. Come on, TradingView, do it. Do it. Put it there. And it's not gonna let me move it, but we'll watch that one. That looks good. All right, we got like a minute left. We got anything else? Tesla, the planes, XBI. Let's take a look at that one. XBI. Biotech. The whole ETF. If one biotech company isn't exciting enough, you could just play the field. Nice little hammer, good pullback. I think I still got support a little bit lower though, so I'm gonna get fooled by the hammer yet. But look for like 94, 93 as some kind of support and just see what happens on that one. It's biotech, so it could go crazy in either direction. But everybody on YouTube land, you guys are absolutely incredible. I appreciate you joining us each and every day. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And we'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Stay safe. Again, 30-year bomb, probably about 1 p.m. Eastern. So just keep that on the charts. Otherwise, I think we're kind of a little bit light on the news today. And we'll see if it stays that way or we get some black swans out.